Remember the days of sitting on your living room floor without a care in the world, playing games, and not worrying about your back hurting? Well, I'm gonna try and chase that feeling today and play some light gun games for the Sony Playstation. Now, I won't be talking about every light gun game in the PlayStation library, but here are 6 that I think are pretty fun to play. Before we get into the games, let's talk about the light gun that I'll be using to play most of these. The Namco Gun Con. The Namco Gun Con, or G-Con, depending on where you're located, was the second gun available for the PlayStation. The first was the Konami Justifier, which I'll get into later in the video. Only Namco games are supported by the Gun Con, so that means you can't use it interchangeably with the Justifier. The Gun Con originally came bundled with Time Crisis, and it's one of the most comfortable light guns I've ever used. Besides the main trigger, there are 2 red A and B buttons on the sides of the gun. They are actually pretty easy to access, and I had no problem reaching it regularly in the Time Crisis games. Time Crisis first came out in the arcades in 1995, and it's a super fun rail shooter that doesn't get old. The PlayStation port was released in 1997, and it's up to you to save the president's daughter who was kidnapped by an evil dictator, or something like that. It's a simple plot, and you can easily skip through the cutscenes if you wish, which I always appreciate. You have to shoot all of the enemies on screen within a given time limit. At first, this isn't too bad, but it quickly becomes challenging, and you're racing to make sure everyone is dead. Oh god. Okay, we got our time extended, everything's fine. I got nervous though when it told me to hurry up. Oh god, we might die. Oh, we did it! We did it! That was close. That was very close. A little too close. There are times when you need to duck, like when you need to reload or when you need to hide from an object so you won't get decapitated by a hook or a beam hanging from the ceiling. But don't worry, you get a danger warning when that happens. Danger! It's really easy to access the side button on the gun to duck and reload, which is great. And because it's so easy to duck, you might find yourself getting a little too comfortable doing this, but then you'll run out of time. Originally in the arcade version, there was a lever to press with your foot to do this. Oh my god, this guy has a shield? I don't have a shield. No! Damn it! Okay, so now I ran out of time. That's tough. Later in 2001 came another Time Crisis game called Time Crisis Project Titan. This is pretty similar gameplay-wise, except this time you're on a boat. At least you are in the beginning. And there's still a lot of guys to shoot and even more helicopters. Like I said, the gameplay is pretty similar, which isn't a bad thing. I did notice pretty early on that there are more objects to duck from, and you need to watch out for dudes throwing knives and bombs. I feel like I had a slightly harder time with this one than the first one, but that could just be me. They are both really fun to play, and I recommend them. Ah. The Point Blank series from Namco is something that I wish I had in my life sooner, but better late than never, right? It's a series of light gun shooter mini-games that are super wacky and fun. It almost feels like something that would have made more sense on a Nintendo console or the Dreamcast. Maybe it's just me, but with a name like Point Blank and it being on the PlayStation, it sounds like it would be a typical violent shooter game. Not that those aren't super fun too. It's refreshing because you're not shooting people or aliens or anything like that. The mini-games consist of everything from shooting plates, ceramic birds, asteroids, cardboard ninjas, and more. I think because of this, the series had a wider appeal, so it was a hit in the arcades. Despite the minigames seeming random at first, all 3 games do have some continuity. Oh my god, did we smush him? We smushed him! That's violent! The games feature 2 main characters called Dr. Dawn and Dr. Dan, who are featured in some of the minigames and in the menu screens. Also, you never want to shoot bombs, civilians, even if they're cardboard cutouts, or Dr. Dawn or Dr. Dan. It feels like these games are a precursor to WarioWare or a lot of Wii games. There were 3 Point Blank games released on the PlayStation, and they were originally released in the arcade. The games let you choose between various difficulty levels, and there's even a practice mode. Or you can be like me and jump right into beginner mode even if you're not totally ready. The first Point Blank game features a lot of shooting targets and birds. You have to have really good aim for a lot of these, so they take some practice. Most of the mini games give you unlimited bullets unless stated otherwise, but you still need to think fast.
Can't shoot the bomb. Oh my god. Shit. Did I do it? Oh, I failed. I only shot 21. I needed to shoot 25. Poor octopuses, they didn't even do anything.
I don't have a lot to say about the first game, so let's move on to the second one. The second game is probably my favorite as I feel the music is better and the visuals are just plain cooler. The overworld, I guess you'd call it, is a castle and has kind of a theme park vibe. I think the games in this one are a bit more fun and memorable, and they seem to feature Dr. Dawn and Dr. Dan more. I'm sorry. Plus, there's plenty of cute ceramic birds and cardboard ninjas that you won't feel bad about shooting. You could tell they really hit their stride with the second game. Point Blank 3 also had a bit of a carnival, theme park vibe, and I'd say it's a pretty good mix of the first two games. It seems like they incorporated even more of the main characters here, and it's a solid third installment.
Oh my god. I shot him in the dick.
Overall, I wish this series got more attention because it's original and super fun to play. I'm interested in trying the arcade version sometime, if possible. There was even a game released for the Nintendo DS, which I'll have to track down. I wonder how that is in comparison. Now it's time to move on and talk about the Justifier from Konami. The Justifier was first released as a light gun for Genesis and Super Nintendo to play the Lethal Enforcers games. Those came in some badass colors. And I'm going to be playing Area 51, which is, it's about aliens, which is fitting, because when I think of aliens, I think of the color green. The Justifier is a great name for a light gun. It's a name you don't forget. The PlayStation Justifier was known as the Hyper Blaster in Japan and Europe, but I prefer the American name in this instance. So now let's use it to play Area 51. Area 51 is another arcade rail shooter, and it's a total classic. The game was released in arcades in 1995, and it's noted as being a big win for Atari, since before this, they were going years and years without a profitable hit. There's something comforting about hearing the reload voice that takes you back to the arcade days.
That reload sound, I remember hearing so much in the arcade.
In 1996, the game was ported to the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and PC. If you can't use the Justifier to play, I guess the PlayStation mouse also works, but who would want to use that? Area 51 is taken over by aliens and you have to stop them. But don't shoot your friends from STAR, which stands for the Special Tactical Advanced Alien Response.
So we don't want to shoot them, or him, because he's on our side. But everyone else we gotta shoot, so hopefully they don't get in the way. But they probably will.
Whoa. You start off shooting a bunch of genetically modified zombie dudes who all know how to operate guns and bombs, so watch out. And although it's a bit repetitive, it does not get old. I especially like the guy who has a real stride as he walks past you.
I like how that guy walks. Oops, almost shot that guy.
You can shoot barrels to blow them up and even find some items to power you up. Later on, you see aliens and they've taken over the cubicles in the office. Oh no!
Reload.
Ooh, a pink one. Wouldn't want to be in that cubicle.
It's a simple and fun game that's a classic for a reason.
Well that wasn't fair.
So there you have it, a look at some awesome light gun games for the Sony Playstation. Were there any games you wish I included in this video? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time, bye!